maybe we start with Jesse. How's he doing? Have you spoken to him?
Yeah, look, we've been on the text. It's obviously a really difficult time for Jesse and the family. We can only imagine what he's going through, and the club's been there to support him the whole way through this period, this difficult period, and we'll continue to do so. So Jesse will have some time away, be with his family, and support them as much as he can, and he'll come back to training and playing when Jesse feels like he's ready.
Have you had times, I guess, through this last little period where he's been copping a bit of heat about a few different things, where you would have liked to have said a bit more about maybe what's going on, but you haven't been able to?
Yeah, of course you would. Jesse's a terrific young man. He's going through a really difficult phase, and obviously there's been a bit of heat on Jesse for a number of things over the last 4 or 5 weeks that have probably been unfair in a lot of ways with what he's going through and what he's dealing with. But hopefully now we get some perspective, give Jesse some time to really get his mind sorted and back focusing on footy when he's ready to focus on footy, and we'll support him and as much as we can in the short term.
3 tools out in the 1 week, does that mess with the continuity or your structures at all?
It changes things. Yeah, it definitely changes things. We've had to look at our team and find a way to come up with a structure from a tools perspective that we feel will really suit the team, and we're actually really excited about that. We can't go into what that'll be, but we're excited about our tools, we're excited about our team, and really trying some new things.
Can you shed any light on the ruck setup or anything you'll be doing there this week?
Cam Pedersen will come into the team, so he'll play some time in the ruck, and we'll do some things within that we're really excited about and looking forward to the opportunity of putting out there on Sunday.
Do you have to plan maybe that you may not be able to get the same clearance ascendancy as you would if you had one of the big tall guys there?
Well, you have to plan differently, but ultimately the stoppage is one phase of the game. We're really comfortable with how we're playing generally. We've seen some improvements last week in the way we played against Richmond. It's one phase of the game, but there's lots of other things that we're quite strong at that we're really focusing in on as well.
You've been cursing your luck a little bit with the way it's gone so far on the injury front?
Oh, that's footy. We've got some injuries, we've had some suspensions, we've had some challenges over the last month, but we're going to put out 22 guys that are going to be really competitive on the weekend and play the way that we want to play. And every club, every team goes through this little phase at some stage. We're going through it now, but that is no excuse. We'll be out there on the weekend to play a really competitive brand of footy.
With your traditional rucks out, does that put any more pressure on the midfield? I guess you're lucky in that you do have a pretty strong midfield at the moment.
Yeah, we are. We're really confident with the guys at ground level, so we'll certainly set up in a way that those guys can get to work, and they play a really important part through this period to play to a level and get it done around the footy, and we're really confident in those guys being able to do that.
What about Jordan coming back? Does he owe the team a couple of big performances?
Oh, he doesn't owe the team. It's just great to have him back. He adds a lot of composure to our group and some leadership, and it's something that we've been probably lacking in the last few weeks. So to have him back in the team is exciting for us, and it's good to get one back.
Do you sort of allow yourself any time to think, gee, imagine that game last week, had we had Jordan out there, the cost on the team of him not being there?
No, not at all. As I said, there's times in footy you go through where you're dealt with scenarios that sometimes are out of your control, and we've been in that position the last few weeks now. As a club and as a team, we have to find a way to be better in that situation and find a way to win, and or find a way to play the way that we want to play for 4 quarters. And there were things in that game against Richmond that we could have controlled better in the last quarter that we weren't able to, and that's our learning. We need to be better than that.
Now, Jack Trengove seems to be performing well at VFL level, but where does he fit into your side, and what does he need to do to get back in?
He's really clear, Jack, on what he's working on to play AFL footy. He's getting closer, and I'm really hopeful that Jack can play that way that we want him to play to get into the team. And you won't get a happier person than me and the rest of the coaching group and the rest of his teammates when Jack gets to that point, and he's not that far away.
So what does he need to do, and what sort of role will he be? Is he looking to?
We'll keep that between Jack and us. Yeah.
What have you made of the Bombers' start to the season?
Yeah, look, they've been playing some really exciting footy. They're moving the ball extremely well. Their small forwards are dangerous and obviously kicking a lot of goals for them. So, they've had one average week probably against Carlton, and they've played a really good team in Adelaide. Outside of that, they've been really solid with their footy. So, we're expecting a really tough game this weekend.
You've got a short turnaround, but they've got a shorter turnaround. Do you feel you've got an advantage there with them only having 5 days?
I think both teams played pretty taxing games, one Monday night, one Tuesday afternoon. So, I think you'll see both teams do a fair bit of recovery this week and try and really put on a really good performance on Sunday. So I don't see us having an advantage. I just see the team that prepares best, plays the best and plays the way they want to play will get the points.
Brendan Goddard played a pretty good shutdown role on Pendlebury last week. Can you see him doing the same sort of thing this week?
Yeah, knowing BJ, he's played those roles before and performed pretty strongly with that. So clearly it's something that they'll look at and probably try and target someone if the opportunity arises.
Just on your overall position, 2 and 3, the importance of staying even with the ledger, getting a win this week to make sure you don't start to fall a little bit off the pack?
Yeah, we're really conscious of not focusing too much on results and too much of where we sit within the season. We're really trying to play the way that we want to play for a longer period of time, and we've had opportunities to do that over the last few weeks and haven't been able to do that, and that's cost us games. So our real focus is on how we play and how we want to perform, and the results in time will take care of themselves.